What we do is we have 3 diversions on this main Cottonwood creek, and we take the water and divert it out either to the north or to the south, and then it flows out across. It's all flood irrigated, so it flows out across this land, and we irrigate till we run out of water, which is getting pretty close. This all used to be hay. This was we had hay these were all hay meadows, and about 6 years ago we quit haying, and what we're trying to do is we graze it early in the year, then we grow it back, and then it becomes our standing winter feed for feeding cattle in the winter. We give them a little supplement with it. If the winter's real hard, a little more hay. If the winter's calm, then they just graze all winter long. What we committed to is taking our animals and moving them across the range with herders. So we pretty much have somebody out there most of the time with the cattle. We now use electric fence, so we have some places where we don't have to have a rider as much. We're trying to create an animal that is adapted to what we're trying to do here with the range conditions and where our regime is. And so the kids, my daughter and son-in-law, have been working really hard through genetics and culling to have an animal that will produce, that's a moderate sized animal, and that will produce to the maximum in this climate, in this regime, with as few inputs as possible. We want an animal that'll come out into this environment and utilize what is out there for feed, not just be grass animals, and not just wait for the hay wagon to come in the wintertime. We want an animal that looks out into this environment and goes, wow, I've got everything I need. And they'll eat sage, and they'll eat this rabbit brush, and they do that. They graze on all of these things now. But there's still a lot of areas that have old decadent stands of sage that are not good for livestock or wildlife or sage grouse or anything. So if we could take cattle and they can start breaking the sage up a little bit, just eating it and becoming that disturbance that fire is, or whatever. If they can disturb that just a little bit, then it's healthier. It creates a healthier stand of sage. You know, if you can get rid of some of these old ones, then you get these younger ones coming up, and these are the stuff that's really good for sage grouse. You know, there was a time when I was first coming into this place that I was wondering about whether I was actually in a business that was harmful to the land. I was watching the riparians not improve. They weren't going down, but they'd already deteriorated tremendously, and fishing was getting worse. And anyway, so to go to Savory's holistic thing and to start taking a different look at what we were doing, and a whole different look at livestock, and cattle is what we run. So cattle, instead of, you know, users of the land and potentially abusers, all of a sudden we could take those animals and have them be a tool to rehabilitate the land. And that's what we're really working on. We're working on having really good rangelands, having good grazing, and so that trying to make the pie bigger rather than divide the pie up into smaller and smaller pieces. And it's working.